everyone, hey, check this out. James, you're already laughing. It is exciting today. Hey, listen, you want to know what happened to me this morning? This is Friday.
Oh, goodness
This is
gracious,
what happened to me this morning.
What happened?
I promise I can't give all the details. I've been texted several different times by employees and the owner of this facility, but I went into a facility just a little while ago, probably an hour or two ago, and they were doing contact tracing. I have been friends with these people and the business owner for 10 years and 16 years with some of the people. And they started contact tracing. Ugh. I got livid. I won't say everything I said, but I walked out. And James, I look at this. I left the place. I let them know I won't be back. So they made contact me. They said, please don't say anything. We know you're on social media. We don't want to have our business destroyed. Can we talk? So I will. So I'll leave that there. But I'm looking at this. I look at what happened this morning, contact tracing with friends of mine. The Newsom laws for Thanksgiving and Christmas. We look at the elections. Listen to this. Listen to this. Police state. I don't know if you heard about this. UK bans protests. This is the direction things are going. This is why I am so concerned. I know what the Bible says regarding the last days. I look at this stuff. We got this election. What's the latest update on the election, James?
Well, so we've got a lot of issues going on with the election. For those of you guys that don't know, I'm doing daily updates on this. I'm going to raise my volume just a little bit. I'm doing daily I'm doing daily updates on this every single. I was going to say daily updates on this every single day. But I'm doing daily updates. Oh my goodness, God help me. Can you tell it's been a long week? Wait, let me just say this before I give you the election update stuff. So it really has been a long week. I got to say that on election day, we were up 24 hours. We left the church open all 24 hours. We started 8 a.m. Tuesday. We ended 8 a.m. Wednesday. And we were leaving the church open only for one group of people, and that is our law enforcement officers. So what we did was we made breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and in between, all available to our law enforcement officers. We let them know, ladies and gentlemen, can I just tell you, Tommy, let me just tell you, this is so exciting. We had almost 500 police officers in the course of a 24-hour period.
That is incredible.
Bro.
That is amazing.
Blown away.
Oh my gosh.
Completely blown away by the grace of God. So with all the craziness that's happened with the election nonsense, we have all been awake. I have been in regular contact with my dear friend, Charlie Kirk. It's a regular occurrence now with me and this guy and a group of other pastors that we've been communicating. Tom, of course, part of all of that. And we've been just talking about all the different things that are going on with the election. So with respect to the election update, as it stands, you guys are watching today. That is Friday. And we made the decision, by the way, on purpose. We made the decision to do this on Friday because we kind of wanted to give you guys an idea of what things are looking like. Now, here's the problem. The problem is, there are several elections that have not been certified yet. There are certain states that have not certified their votes. They continue to count. There's a lot of voter fraud going on. We'll talk about that in just a second. I cannot believe Fox News. I don't trust Fox News. I'll never trust Fox News. I'm sorry. The only people on Fox News I'll ever trust is Tucker Carlson, Sean Hannity, and Sean is solid, and Mark Levin. I don't think I'm going to trust anybody. You know, Laura's great. Laura's great, but she kind of irritates me because she disrupts everybody. But I think I do the same thing, so I can't really get mad at her for doing that. So here's the thing. No one else over there seems to be really telling the truth. I'm very, very disappointed in what they did with Arizona. They called Arizona for Joe Biden, which I think is absolutely insane, right? I have no idea what on God's green earth would motivate them to do that. I think they're kooks for doing something like that. These people don't know that I'm filming. Why are they calling me? They know that I'm filming. Hold on, let me turn this off really quickly. So they know beyond a shadow of a doubt that there is a huge possibility that the president could have easily won Arizona. And ladies and gentlemen, He's about to win Arizona. He's about to win Arizona. If you've looked at the numbers coming out of Maricopa County, every single time they've done a drop, you are talking about 56 to 57%, actually, mostly 57%. And I'm telling you right now, it's going to get taken out of Joe Biden's hands. Why they decided to call it for Arizona within the first few hours, or call Arizona for Biden within the first few hours, I have absolutely no idea. So here's the deal. The path for the White House for President Trump is going to be Arizona, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia. I can promise you that. That's going to be the path. Arizona, the 11 electoral votes that have been given to Joe Biden are going to be taken away. It should not be 264 right now. Truth be told, it should be 253. And in reality, it shouldn't be 253. It should probably be 243, 233. I think it should probably be in the 220s for Joe Biden because he doesn't deserve Wisconsin. He doesn't deserve Michigan. He sure as heck doesn't deserve Arizona. He doesn't deserve Pennsylvania, even though now he's in the lead, which is insane. How on God's green earth can he be in lead in Pennsylvania when Joe Biden basically said, I'm taking away your whole livelihood? I'm going to make a case for this in just a second. Georgia, he's now behind. North Carolina, there's no way they can do it because there's no way they can cheat, but that's a whole other thing. Ladies and gentlemen, Tommy, what I have in my hand right here is a Judicial Watch report. Mm-hmm. Now, in this report, Judicial Watch, here's the headline of this report, and these people are very credible. It says this in the report: new Judicial Watch study finds, ready for this, 353 U.S. counties in 29 states with voter registration rates exceeding 100%. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you what that means. Mm-hmm. That means if you were to take all qualified people who are qualified to register to vote, that doesn't mean those who have registered to vote. We're talking about people who have qualified.
They're 18
to register to vote.
Legal.
18 legal, non-felons, all the different things, okay? That's what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. It's a number, we'll call it, you have a certain number. Let's say that number is 100, okay? If that number is 100, then typically of that number, you will see roughly 60 registered to vote. Of the 60 that are registered to vote, you'll typically in an election like this see anywhere from 60 to 75% of them choosing to actually vote.
Drop you down to around 40%.
Which means now you're probably talking about, out of that 100, you will probably see somewhere in the neighborhood of 32 to 40% that will actually be voting of that 100 in an election as highly contested as this one. Make no mistake about it, that will be the case. Mm-hmm. That is absolutely the case. Ladies and gentlemen, let me just read to you some of the numbers here of people who have actually voted. We're talking about percentages that exceed those that are even qualified to register to vote. So what you would expect to see when you start looking at some of these numbers is you would expect to see things like 40%, 25%, 60%, maybe 75 to 80% when the case is super hot and crazy. How about we just talk about Georgia? Shall we just talk about Georgia? Oh, Georgia. Let's talk about Georgia for just a second. Everybody's going to really think I'm crazy. Big mouth, he won't shut up. Let him talk, James. Here we go. Byron County, 118%. Forsyth County, 114%. Dawson County, 113%. Oconee County, 111%. Fayette County, 111%. Fulton County, 109%. Cherokee County, 109%. Jackson County, 107%. Henry County, 106%. Lee County, 106%. Morgan County, 105%. Clayton County, 105%. DeKalb County, 105%. Gwinnett County, 104%. Greene County, 104%. Cobb County, 104%. Effingham County, 103%. Walton County, 102%. Rockdale County, 102%. Barrow County, 101%. Douglas County, 101%. Newton County, 100%. Hall County, 100%. They can't even calculate the percentage statewide total because the numbers are so skewed in Georgia, it's not even funny. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you what that means. For those of you that are watching, let me tell you what that means. That means of all of the people that voted for the president of the United States, the Democrats have made up by what they want to do amounts that are uncomprehendable to make up for the loss. Let's talk about some of the other contested states. How about Michigan statewide? Michigan, I have so many numbers on Michigan. I've got almost 2 pages on the counties in Michigan alone. Shall I get into Pennsylvania?
So, yeah, you said there's 29 states, right? So I look at this, James, you remember this, the last election, California already had that kind of stuff going on. Remember, we hear about counties all over California that were over 100%. So
that's exactly right.
They've been doing it here for a long time, and now this is being exported from California to all of these other states. This ought to have everybody in the entire country alarmed. And, hey, check this out. While you're looking for that, listen to this. This is from Emmanuel Macron, which is about as left as you would think somebody can get, out of France. This is what he says. The terrorist risk is everywhere. Macron calls for stricter European borders after recent attacks. So you listen to that. Here's Emmanuel Macron saying, hey, we've got to have stricter borders. Emmanuel Macron is radical left, and it would help if some of the liberals in the United States of America would listen to what this radical leftist leader out of France is telling us. Look, these leftist policies don't work. He doesn't say that, but he's now proving it by his actions. We have problems because of our lousy leftist policies.
Tommy, look, let me just explain something to you. We are in a crisis in this nation, and I want you to understand how significant this crisis is. Watch this. I know for a fact, based on the facts, we have statistical impossibilities going on with respect to the vote right now. Statistical impossibilities. If the president was getting the kind of shellacking that they say he's getting, then why are we maintaining the Senate? Why are the Republicans maintaining the Senate completely? And why is it we are going to lose, the Democrats are going to lose as many as 12 to 15 seats in the House?
Yeah, exactly. So there's no way that these people who voted for Senate and Congress would not be voting for the president.
How in the world is it that you can have a guy who is so popular that they will have rallies where the truck in the beginning starts and every other vehicle behind him has flags and horns and Trump 2020 and all that, and it goes for 92 miles? Not arranged by the Trump campaign, organically produced. How in the world can that happen? Hold on for a second. Currently, right now, Joe Biden, the crook, has 73,733,157 votes. Do you understand that he has more of a popular vote than any president in U.S. history?
There's no way. There's just
impossible.
There's just no way.
It's a statistic impossibility. Yeah. If you look at the totality of the votes that exist, now I believe that President Trump is somewhere in the 70 million category, which he would in essence break that record. But this is a statistical impossibility.
Yeah.
It's a statistical impossibility. If you just look at the amount of qualified voters, look, let me tell you something. You look at all of these Democratic states that are doing the nonsense that they're doing. And why in the world isn't the Republican governor standing up? The Republican governor of Georgia, why isn't he standing up? Why isn't he getting his act together and putting his foot down and saying, I'm not going to allow this to happen? Why is he going to step up like DeSantis did? But here's the problem that we have here. You look at the amount of votes that are being continually misconstrued and handled and so on and so forth. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, you mark my words. Thank God that President Trump is the kind of tough that he is. Thank God he's the kind of president that he is, because I can promise you this, he's not going down. I can promise you that. And I can also promise you this, he is going to fight like H-E double hockey stick and back. He is going to go and go and go and go, and he's not going to give up until he wins, and I promise you he will win. but not without exposing the insane corruption that exists right here. The insane corruption. If you want my opinion, this isn't even my opinion. These are statistical facts. Most of this map should be red right now, but it's not because of the cheating. It's not because of the lying. Do we have a bigger issue here at stake? I never thought I would be able to say with this election, there's a bigger issue at stake than just electing Donald Trump, because I think electing Donald Trump is the issue. But there is a bigger issue now, and the bigger issue is we are becoming a banana republic. Mm-hmm. We are becoming a nation that is literally continuing to go in the... I can't believe I'm watching this live projection right now, and I'm watching these votes go up by 100,000 per second right now on the projection map. How in the world is that working?
Where are you looking?
I'm looking at the Fox News projection.
That's your first problem.
Yeah, it is my first problem. I promise you it's my first problem. But I'm wanting to look at what is the reason why I'm looking at it is because I want everybody to know. I want to be looking at what everybody's looking at mainstream. Because people are going to be looking at these mainstream maps. That's what they're looking at right now. They're not looking at the real maps. If you want a really good, solid map on what everything is looking like, the Epic Times. You can go to their map. It's a really, really good map. They're drawing some good projections there. But the problem is even then on the contentions that exist, they are lying. Ladies and gentlemen, they are lying. Completely lying. We're seeing it and we're letting it happen. That's the bigger issue here. We are letting this lying happen completely.
Well, yeah, we are. And it's been happening for a long time. And American Christians have become very complacent over the years.
It's beyond
so
complacent.
You look at this. So it did. I mean, but if you look back, this whole scenario, the whole way of operating this kind of war, it was in California. And California's been doing this for a long time. Remember back in 2008 when California voted in favor of marriage, heterosexual marriage between a man and a woman. Remember that?
We do remember that.
And voted down homosexual marriage. Do you remember what happened? That's 2008, and the judge overturned the votes of the people.
That's right.
And you know what? Californians never did anything about it. I mean, you and I both live here. We may have made stink, but overall, even the majority of the people who actually voted for it just went, well, okay, I guess the judge knows better. So they set that precedent here with the over 100% of registered voters are saying, you know, the amount of voters that are in a particular county over what the voters of legal age actually are. You know, these things were all in California a long time ago. So here's what concerns me. I see it going this direction. I hear you say that Trump is going to win. But we have a huge problem with civil unrest that's going to develop over this. I don't think
already developing.
Yeah, it's not going to go away. I think it's going to get worse. So do you see a civil war coming in America?
Potentially. And I hate to say it, but potentially there is a possibility that we could see something like that. It's a very hard statement to make, but it's very much looking that way. I mean, well, I wish I wasn't in a position where I did say that, but I really do think we're getting very close to something like that.
Well, here's something else to think about. America, as it has been, is not going to be that America, that same America when you look at the fulfillment of Bible prophecy. The thing with Bible prophecy, we don't know the day nor the hour that everything is going to take place, that we're going to enter into the tribulation, that the rapture is going to be. We don't know the day or the hour of those two things. Right. So when we look at things right now, we know America as we know it is not going to be existing. I've been hoping for years that would be because we are raptured, and that's why America isn't the end time player.
Right.
But you look at it now and you think we could have a civil war. I don't want to upset our viewers, but the reality of it is there is a lot of issues that are happening here. You mentioned we're already a banana republic, or we're headed that direction. James, you live near Los Angeles. You look at what's been going on in Los Angeles with the streets there. You look at the streets of San Francisco. Here's a state that used to be absolutely beautiful. There's parts of California that look like third world countries.
That's right.
The roads are horrible. The buildings are dilapidated. Things are falling apart. There's feces on the streets. It's disgusting in some of these areas.
Well, look, for everybody that follows Bible prophecy, which is virtually everybody that watches this video, let me just say something. You better hope that there's a revival in this nation. Mm-hmm. You better hope that everybody gets saved. You better hope that that's the reason why we are not in last days prophecy. Because let me just explain something to you. In order for America to no longer become a superpower, this is not a process that's going to happen overnight. Look, let me just say that. If that was the case, then we would have seen the beginnings of it through the coronavirus. Okay? I'm telling you, this is going to be a long, drawn-out process. It's not going to be something that's going to happen in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, maybe in 5 or 6. I don't know. But I can just tell you this right now. It's not going to happen overnight. If the United States of America continues to seek the Lord and put its face towards God, and more people in the nation become saved, it could literally happen overnight. We get raptured, it's a wrap. So we better hope that that's the case. We really ought to really be thinking in that direction. We really should be praying for revival. We should be praying for a spiritual awakening. And we should be praying for a government that will allow that to continue to go forth, because it's in our best interest. That's why I've had such a difficult time with these cowardly pastors who continue to propagate a lie and say, oh, this is a matter of conscience and voting for whatever party is what you should do, and it's whatever you feel led to do. Okay, baby killer. Okay, liar. Okay, hustler, quit the ministry. You don't belong in the ministry. You don't belong in the ministry if you don't have enough guts to be able to say, defy the governor and open up your church. You shouldn't be in the ministry if you don't have enough intestinal fortitude and integrity and righteousness to stand up and to say, no, we need to vote for a president who is going to support godly principles and godly policies. And before any of you throw in the comments, oh, President Trump's a bad guy because he's dividing Israel, go back and get your head straight and educate exactly what's going on over there. Learn what East Jerusalem actually is. It's not really Jerusalem. How about we take it a step further and simply say this? This proposal for land division amongst the Jews and the Palestinians is done so that the president could be able to say, you see, they don't want to work with us. And so that he can move on. He's the number one defender of Israel right now. That's a world leader. He's the number one defender of babies right now. That's a world leader. And he defends the church more than most of these cowardly woke pastors do.
Yeah. He's defending the church more than more than most pastors in America right now.
What are we doing?
Listen, it is appalling to me. I know we've mentioned this many times on the program. It's appalling to me to look at America and see how many churches aren't open. And you know what, James? It's not just California. California laws are stricter on this coronavirus than most of the other states. And you start looking at, there are states that are almost completely wide open, and the pastors still won't even open up their church.
That's very true.
I would call them out because I look at this. I go here in Southern California where it's pretty strict. You've got several pastors, probably 10, that have our churches open.
If that.
And 8. All right, because I can count 8, and you being one, me being one, and there's a few more that I could add to it too. But still, that's hardly any. But nevertheless, we're in the fight. I don't understand why these other guys aren't in the fight. And you start looking at this, we're not wrestling against flesh and blood. This is a spiritual battle. I told my wife just this morning, she's looking at all the news, and I said, look, I believe that God gets our attention in hard times, and that is when people pray. And I said, right now, my hope is that God wants to do a great awakening in America, but it's going to require that people have hearts that are prepared and genuinely wanting Him.
That's right.
They're looking to Him for victory. It is God who's on the throne, and God raises up kings and God sets down kings, and we need to surrender to Him, because if He's not on the throne, we have much bigger problems that are coming our way, and that is a concern. And you've already said it. You look at Biden, you look at Harris, and you look at them, you go, how could you? Do you realize what they're going to bring? Do you realize the kind of government that's going to be here? I'm convinced most people on the left have no idea how bad socialism is really going to be. And it's going to start becoming miserable rather fast if Biden were to end up being president. But I look at it, ultimately, we need to make sure that God is on the throne. And I'm hoping for an awakening, not just a revival. I'd say an awakening. The church looks pretty dead.
Right. Right. And I really, truly blame the church for not getting involved in this. I blame the church for not jumping in on the effort. And shame on these so-called woke pastors that continue to run around saying, oh, we will march. Oh, we're going to march for the cause of Black lives and Black Lives Matter and the organization and all that other nonsense. But yet we will not march for the rights of these 1,500 Black babies that are getting killed every day, plus the 1,500 of every other color.
Won't march for life, but march for that. And there's another group out now too, a radical group. It's called Count Every Vote. Did you hear about them?
No.
They are just as radical as Antifa and BLM.
Oh, I know exactly who you're talking about.
So,
yes,
but it sounds so good on the outside, doesn't it? Count every vote. Doesn't mean count every legal vote.
Yeah, they mean count every vote we make up.
Count every vote we make up, all of, over the 100% in the whole bit. So you look at this, there is trouble coming. We need to cry out to the Lord. James, however, we're out of time. And
no way, really?
I need you to do me a favor. All right, two things. We have the conference this Sunday.
That's right.
People need hope. They also need direction.
That's right.
You start first thing Sunday morning. You're going to be bringing the regular morning messages. However many you're going to do, one or two. I know it's going to be hopeful. We already talked about that. Then we have the afternoon, rain or shine. Don Stewart speaking. David Towles from Israel. Andy Woods is going to be with us and joining us for a panel. And then I'm going to go at it with you live in front of everybody that shows up. I have a short message myself, and then me and you, and it's going to be exciting. It is this Sunday. People can get that information at hopeforourtimes.com and come and join us. We have a barbecue truck that's going to be there. So I hope that everybody watching will join us. It's going to be fantastic. If you're in Southern California, even with the rain, get there. It will be a fantastic time, and we need this, and we have answers, and people need hope. They need to know what in the world is going on. James, I'm giving you the last word. I already gave you a bunch of words, but now you got the last. You know what?
It really is what we need right now. We need Jesus. I mean, that's really what it is, and we need to take a stand for righteousness. It's one of the things that I've been kicking and screaming about, man. We just really need to look at what's important and fight for those things, because if we get ourselves to the point where we just ignore this and let this thing skate, things are going to go in a very, very wrong direction. But more importantly than that, what about eternity? What are we doing about eternity? And I think that that's really important. And I also just want to bring up how important it is for you guys to subscribe to Hope for Our Times, the YouTube channel. Make sure you go to the Hope for Our Times website. It's so important that you're doing it. You're helping me. You're helping Tom to grow this thing. I personally would be honored if you would go to the Calvary Chapel Signal Hill YouTube channel and you would hit subscribe and hit the bell notifications. By the way, today, an hour from the time you're watching this, at 2:00, I'm going to go live and I'm going to address this, a lot of the election stuff, and we're going to talk about a lot of that. And we're just doing our best to give you what you need to grow in your relationship with God. So Hope for Our Times, you're on that channel right now. Hit subscribe if you haven't done it. Please go to Calvary Chapel Signal Hill. Take a moment, pause this video, go to Calvary Chapel Signal Hill, hit subscribe, hit the bell. We'll let you know when we go live. And then I'm on my Instagram, I'm James Kaddis. I know for Tom, I think it's Tom Hughes. It's just straight out Tom Hughes for Instagram, Pastor Tom Hughes.
Yeah.
So go to Pastor Tom, and then I think on Parler, he's at Real Tom Hughes, right? Is that what it is? Real Tom? That's right. I got it. Yeah, that's right. So join, get involved, plug in, get yourself informed about what's happening, and then get in the fight. There's a lot to be fighting for.
Hey, let me ask you this. You sounded like you were surprised we're already out of time. Did you have one other thing you wanted to add? Or
No, because then we'll be way out of time. So we're good.
Okay, this is what I'm going to do. You're probably going to add other things on your own Instagram. So all of you who are watching this at 2:00 California time, go over to James' show. That's right after. Actually, it's going to be almost right after this is done. So this is our 1:00 program Friday. James, thank you. Go over, watch James now. Click on his Instagram and YouTube, right? Find you both those places for today.
Yep.
Okay.
For the live show, it'll be on our Instagram and Facebook. I mean, our YouTube and Facebook. And our information is always at the bottom of the description of this show. You can always see it there.
All right. So there you go. And listen, again, Sunday, make sure you join us. James Kaddis is first thing in the morning, his 2 messages, ministering to the whole church all afternoon. It's going to be food and great messages with our prophecy conference. We need it, and we need to connect the dots, and you guys need hope. Okay. Thank you, James. See you Sunday.
Love you, bro.
Love you too.
Bye.